Also, an update on Bangladesh, and I can tell you that the Secretary General remains deeply concerned about the situation in Bangladesh. He notes the reports of the resumption of student protests today and reiterates his call for calm and restraint. The Secretary General is concerned about reported mass arrests of thousands of young people and political opposition in connection with the current student movement. The Secretary General underscores the importance of due process and the right of freedom of expression and the right to peaceful assembly. He is also alarmed by emerging reports about the excessive use of force by security forces and credible evidence of human rights violation. He reiterates his call for all acts of violence to be investigated promptly, transparently, and impartially, and for those responsible to be held to account. We continue to raise our concerns about the situation in the country with relevant authorities, both in the capital Dhaka and here in New York, and we count on Bangladesh to respect and uphold human rights, including as a troop contributing country to the United Nations peacekeeping missions. We've taken note of the statements by the Bangladeshi authorities that UN-marked vehicles are no longer being deployed within Bangladesh, and we remind and reiterate that UN troop and police contributing countries are to use UN insignia and equipment marked with the UN insignia only when they are performing mandated tasks as UN peacekeepers in the context of their deployment within a UN peacekeeping operation. Mushfiq, sorry, and then Amelie.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you for your statement as you just read. So I have three questions, if I may, on Bangladesh, and it will be very quick. What is the Secretary General's view regarding the role of Bangladeshi law enforcement agency in running a witch hunt against young innocent people, shooting them and forcing them to give statements while they are in custody?
I think, Mushfiq, I will repeat myself, but I think the Secretary General said that he was alarmed by reports of excessive use of force by security forces, credible reports of human rights violations, and again calls for anyone involved in these violations to be held to account. Your second question.
Does he still feel comfortable with these same people holding the UN flag to remain peace in other countries?
Well, it is clear for us that we count on Bangladesh and Bangladeshi troops that are serving in peacekeeping missions to uphold and respect human rights. Your last question, sir.
How evidence does Secretary General need to take action, as UN Human Rights Chief has said his office is ready to provide support for their investigation, and rights group, international scholars, Nobel laureates are urging for the UN intervention?
The Secretary General is always ready to provide support within the scope of his mandate. Sir.
Thank
and then
you.
Mike.
And obviously it is on Bangladesh. Bangladesh government reiterates that all acts of killings and terrorist acts would be brought to justice through impartial and objective investigations to identify those responsible impressive of their affiliations. Bangladesh calls the day of
no,
national...
Sir, but I need... I understand the situation. I don't want to give you a 10-second statement. I'd like to hear a question.
Okay, regarding this initiative, do you have any observations?
Well, our observation is to reiterate what I just said 2 minutes ago, which is that all acts of violence need to be promptly investigated, transparently, impartially, and for everyone who is responsible for violence to be held to account.
I have more. After the deployment of army forces, the situation has normalized in Dhaka, and reports of terrible destruction of public and private properties are being revealed. Will the United Nations extend help to Bangladesh to compensate for such a terrible loss?
We are always ready to help any country to promote dialogue in a time of crisis, the UN is not involved in any compensation scheme for people who sadly lose property or family members during demonstrations anywhere in the world.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Mike.